Hello, I'm Jeremy from Video Gamers Oasis, and you're watching E.S. Lowe's Chess in 30 Minutes book reading. It's a mini podcast where we're going to go segment by segment, chapter by chapter of this fascinating, really old book. We've already learned about the king and queen. Now we'll be learning about the rook and the bishop, two very important pieces on the chessboard in just a few minutes. Podcast Miniseries, E.S. Lowe's Chess in 30 Minutes. Study and Practical Application. Read by Jeremy Morrow. Episode 3, The Rook and the Bishop. Chess in 30 Minutes, paperback by E.S. Lowe. Published in January 1st, 1955, 5 out of 5 stars. Barb 1992 said, 5 stars. Good, handy book. Reviewed in the United States on May 14th, 2014. Verified purchase. Book is in really good condition. Arrived before scheduled time. Member of my family has had it for years. Now I can learn playing chess from my own copy. Clear and simple guide for beginners. Buy this book on Amazon. Link in the description. We're on page 20 now and 21. We're going to be learning about the rook and the bishop. Let's magnify here. The rook. Now we come to the rook. The rook moves vertically up and down, or horizontally left or right. The rook captures the way it moves. And here's diagram 6, how the rook moves. You can see the corner piece. The rook can move up, 3 X's up, or to the right, 3 X's to the right, or in this case, all the way across the chessboard. 7. The rook can capture black's bishop or knight. The rook captures only by displacement. Going back to the opening position in diagram 1, you will note that the rooks go in the corner of the board when the pieces are set up to start a game. You can see that in diagram 7, how the rook captures. There's the black bishop and the black knight. Either one they could capture. Now moving on to the next piece that we're going to study is the bishop. Page 20. The bishop moves diagonally, that is, on squares of the same color. Remember, the bishop cannot zigzag. He moves in only one direction at a time. The crosses on diagram 8 show how the bishop moves. We have diagram 8, how the bishop moves. Diagonally left or diagonally right. Moving back to the paragraph, note that a bishop is forever limited to squares of the same color. But turn back to diagram 1 and you will observe that at the beginning of the game, page 21, you have 2 bishops. One of them moves on the white squares and the other moves on the black squares. Let's do what the book instructs us. Going back to diagram 1, here we have the opening position of both the black and the white side. And here we have the bishop on the third from the corner, and the bishop third from the corner, from the rook, the knight, and the bishop. The bishop next to the queen is on the black square, and the bishop next to the king is on the white square. And again, as we learned, the bishop cannot move on a different colored square. It has to stay on the same colored square. In diagram 9, you can see how the bishop captures. It captures directly any enemy piece that is on the same colored square. Moving down, a little further down, the bishop on the black squares, this is on page 21, The bishop on the black squares can capture the queen. The bishop on the white squares can capture the rook. The bishop captures by displacement. To repeat, a bishop on the white squares can move only on white squares and capture only on white squares. A bishop on the black squares can move only on black squares and capture only on black squares. Page 22. Continuing on where we left off. At the beginning of the game, diagram 1, one bishop is placed next to the king. The other bishop is placed next to the queen. And there you have it. That's all the time we have for our reading. Now for a review. The rook. The rook can only move vertically or horizontally. It cannot reach squares past a piece blocking its path. The following diagram is a mock-up or a video game representation of diagram 6, how the rook moves. So here we have the rook, in this case a white rook, could be a black rook as well, on the section 1B of the chessboard. And you can move the chess piece, the rook, all the way to the other side of B, like so. Also, you could take the rook here and move it all the way to the right to section H1. And here we have a video game representation of diagram 7, how the rook captures on page 20. In diagram 7, the rook can capture the black's bishop or knight. As you can see that. Either one can be captured because they're in direct lineup of their squares, horizontally and vertically. Bishop. The bishop can only move diagonally. He cannot reach squares past a piece blocking his path. Next we have diagram 8, how the bishop moves. So as you can see here, the bishop can move left diagonally, like so, or move right diagonally, like so. H3 or to A6. Pretty straightforward there. There you go. That is the bishop. And on this diagram, diagram 9, how the bishop captures. The bishop on the black squares can capture the queen. The bishop on the white squares can capture the rook. The bishop captures by displacement. So the bishop on the white square and the bishop on the black square. So we'll look at the black square first. The black square bishop captures the queen. In this case, move diagonally and diagonally again. Diagonally. In this case, the bishop can move diagonally right and diagonally again to the left to capture the queen. Or it could possibly go this way and right up close to the queen and capture the queen, if that was the technique being used. And then we have the bishop on the white square can capture the rook. So here we have the rook in front guarding the queen, and we can see here the bishop here can capture the rook, like so. Tune in next time. We're going to learn about the knight on page 22 and the pawn on page 23. Podcast Miniseries, E.S. Lowe's Chess in 30 Minutes. Study and Practical Application. Read by Jeremy Morrow.